Good morning. How are we doing today? I hope everybody's having a great morning so far. Happy hump day, happy Wednesday, welcome in. Love to see it, Arabuto, Zach, Xavier, Toro, Dr. Zoidberg, Manicured, Almighty, Jason, Wes, Wolfkiller, Tank, and Jake. And of course, everybody else that can't type out there. Let's get it. Pew Pew. Spy. Straddling key support this morning. Close to 676 to 675. Bouncing right off of the low from yesterday. You can see how critical this zone is that I'm pointing out here on the charts. It's essentially triple bottomed here. If you count all three of these touches. Today's touch, yesterday's touch, and then technically Monday night's touch. Ramirez, welcome up. Pretty crazy morning and open so far. We had CPI data hit just this morning, came in right as expected. CPI data. Here's the inflation rate chart. I have not updated it yet, so when I refresh it, you'll see the new reading. There it is, 2.4%, right in line with expectations today. No problem there. Here's the real numbers, 2.4% on the year over year. Didn't move from the last reading. Core inflation rate, same thing, didn't move, also in line. The month over month dropped from 0.3% last time and stuck at 0.2. But I have to explain something with this, is while we saw the inflation data mostly come in line with expectations and really just be a big nothing burger, we have to realize that the next inflation reading is where things will really get spicy. The next inflation reading will be after the war started, and it's going to show March. Right now, we're only 11 days into March. But I expect to see a jump in inflation on that reading, given how energy has been skyrocketing. Good morning, Rick. Jake said sold Oracle puts, bought a call and printing today on all three. Love it, Jake. You sold Oracle puts. That must be doing great then with Oracle exploding like this. And you bought a call. Wow, Jake. That sounds like a best case scenario for you right here with Oracle. They moved enough on earnings for you too, 14% right now. Moving at open today, they had a good report last night, great report. I suppose moving 13%. Adobe reports tomorrow night. That's going to be a big one in software too. These are two software companies that are reporting earnings this week that got crushed in the short term. What's up? Nope. It's been in there every single day. I don't know where you've been. Are you in the Stocked Up Discord? You can actually just go on, click on this profile on YouTube, and then just, scroll back. It'll show you the videos from every day. I'm pretty surprised about that, though. Pretty crazy day so far, though. Gonna go ahead and look at the watch list. We do have Serve Robotics up 15%. Now, what is up with that one? Serve Robotics, they had earnings? Oh, wow. SERV, they were actually at a pretty big support as well. 5-minute chart looks very strong, though, on Serve. I know we've been looking a lot at UMAC lately. Not the best PA from open today. RCAT has been a fun one, too. Kind of slower again here. Lockheed keeps falling down now. Lockheed's kind of making me sad. It had that good movement last week off of that dip, and I really liked that Friday price action and was starting to look at it to pop back again, but it is really selling off now. This is weird to see for defense. I thought defense would have done a lot better in the short term, but not the case, at least at this second. They've done great heading into this time of the year, though. They did great at the end of 25 and beginning of 26. Lockheed Mountain. I forgot about that till you just reminded me, actually. How about Team USA last night getting destroyed in baseball by Italy? Of all people, I was insane. Very weird. What's up, Joe Papa? Let's support and smash the like and subscribe. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you're just joining up, destroy that like button, hit the subscribe. I appreciate you as always. So glad the weather's getting hot again. They need Paul Skeens to pitch every day. Yes. That'd be the real way to do it. Nebius, NBIS. Yeah, they had some news. Nebius ripping up. 5-minute chart. They ripped this morning. Let's pull up the Thinkorswim headline here. NVIDIA pumps $2 billion into Nebius to power a hyperscale AI cloud. They're up 13%. So far here, and they're testing critical resistance. It actually looks like a pretty solid move here by Nebius. I love how Nebius started to fill the gap. They almost filled the gap and has been bouncing off of a critical range of support down there. And now they're actually testing critical range of resistance at the same exact time, and they're going for like a real run and a real breakout coming through. What's the best way to play rising prices in oil? Iran doesn't look like they're going to end the war anytime soon. The best way, Manicured? I mean, this is tough, but if you were like dead set that oil was just going to keep flying to the upside, the best way to go is probably crude oil futures is what I would look at. You could even trade options on crude oil futures. I know that gets pretty advanced, but I know. I would bet in the chat here, maybe 2 people have traded options on futures before. Maybe more than 2. Maybe I'll go like 5, probably. But USO is a decent option manicured, but really crude oil futures would move a lot more. USO's good, don't get me wrong. It's definitely solid too. I think options on USO would be the way to go. Granted though, right now the options are a bit pricey. If we look at the implied volatility of USO, you can see how much it shot up. The implied volatility was mostly in a range around like 31% to 40%. And, every once in a while it would pop off here a little bit more. But my gosh, today it is. With this short-term move, it popped all the way up to 108%. Oh my gosh, I keep moving the wrong chart. There we go. Yeah, 108%. That is a wild jump with implied volatility there. Actually, this is the biggest implied volatility move on USO going all the way back to COVID. Whenever USO fell down to $17. So, yeah, this is definitely one of the weirder times for USO. So you have to be careful with that, The implied volatility is up so much. When that starts dropping, it's going to make options become a bit cheaper. And if that does happen, like let's say the volatility does slow down on USO, it's going to be very hard to continue to hold call options longer and longer. Wow, they are expensive. If you go to USO at the money call options expiring in July, they're trading for like $1,600, $1,700 at the moment. You go to, let's say, April, you're looking at like $1,200 to $1,300. Go to March, you're looking at like $900 to $1,000, and that's March 20th. That's in 9 days. So, yeah, these things are highly inflated right now. It doesn't mean that they can't keep going, but they are highly inflated with these premiums. If you had shares, right now would be a great time to sell covered calls. This would be like, oh my gosh, I'd be foaming at the mouth for some covered calls on this one. I kind of am right now, but naked covered calls can be pretty dang risky. You better really know what you're doing with stopping out on stuff like that. And when you think about oil, you could see a big overnight jump or something, so you have to be very, very mindful. What was Intel doing? They said it was moving. It was up 2%. Nice jump to $48 or so. AMD made a nice move higher too. AMD broke out again. Wow. Nvidia going. Advanced money dispenser on fire. Intel attempted. The chip stocks are kind of moving today. How's Palantir? Okay. They're not a chip stock, but good comeback too. 1.2%. Good guy said XPEV doing well the past week since you bought your $20 call is about to be in the money. XPEV 2.8% here, $19.40. Nice jump up the past week, no kidding. Very consistent PA back, and this stock was getting beaten down too. It was starting to sell off pretty harshly, under support even, but made that quick bounce back. Very volatile stock here with XPEV. Hard one to trade. with the gap ups and gap downs. Oh, I'm stuttering today.
Today, Junior?
Hey. RCAT, Rapid Cash Accumulator Technology. That's a pretty good one. We're going to start doing that for everything now. Let's go see FIG, Figma. It's been a while since I've seen Figma's stock or checked it out. It's been lower, kind of in that software sector. Well, definitely in there. Looking at them, coming up towards resistance at $29.50 to $30. All the EV companies are doing well in the short term, except Tesla, good guy says, except Tesla. That's because they're doing robots now. No, not quite yet. I mean, they're starting to, right? But looking at Tesla, they're up 2.4% today. Those robots have gotten a lot of hype, though, I must say. It's been very interesting, just like that movie I, Robot. I'm telling you. That movie, I, Robot, is crazy, and these things look too much like those. Beating Boston Dynamics will be hard for Tesla. I don't know. The one thing that Tesla does have going for it, though, is that if Elon brings it to market, there's going to be a lot of people that go crazy for it just because it's Elon and Tesla. Boy, oh boy. Let's go see Advanced Money Dispenser again, because I like the chip stocks, but AMD turned over. Yeah, hit resistance really hard and is pulling back. NVIDIA almost doing the same thing. SPY itself, slow and choppy in its opening range still. Keep your eyes on 675, 676. For those of you that did not see it, the CPI inflation data came in right as expected. The year-over-year rate stayed the same on core and the regular rate. The month-over-month went from 0.3% to 0.2% and hit expectations. The normal month-over-month did jump a little bit to 0.3%, but again, very negligible, mainly in line with expectations for the entire reading. So SPY didn't make much of a move whenever it really released. We can see these are the candles right here that ensued as it released, so nothing too much. Kind of an upside move, then a slight downside move, and just went flat. Now, one thing that we're going to be looking at is just to see if it impacts it here, is what happened to the rate cut probability for June. What happened here? It looks like since the release, the maintain rate has slid up just a little bit. Actually, I lied. It fell off slightly. It went from 58% to 57%. Sorry, Kalshi for some reason is not on Eastern time like everything else that I have is. Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's good, Merc. It just means that it's not surprising. I wouldn't call it great, but, you know, if we think about inflation overall, everybody out there is like, oh my gosh, inflation, inflation, inflation. And, oh my gosh, the U.S. is going to go under and all of this. It's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, whenever you look at the year-over-year inflation rate, it's at 2.4%. It's at the lowest range it's been at over the past 3 years. The only time it was lower than this was one time in April of 2025. Besides that one reading in April of 2025 where it was at 2.3%, we have the lowest inflation going all the way back to February of 2021, March of 2021. So it's really not that crazy right now. Now, if we see it up around 3% plus, I think that that's where it gets a little crazy. Right now, it's just really staying right in the zone. But wage hasn't kept up the last few years, so that's where people are feeling it, Good Guy said. Yeah, you know, wages have been going up. It just hasn't, like you said, necessarily closed the gap. But that's the thing. Prices are still high. No, definitely that's the good argument there. Good point, Good Guy. That is the one big negative there. And Powell even talks about that all the time. And it is one of the bigger topics. And what has been fueling a lot of Americans' hurt, we'll say, is definitely that. How are yields doing today? Speaking of all of these fun topics. Oh, US 20Y popped off today again. Up around 1%. US 10Y. Same thing. By the way, I don't mean that the yield went up 1% itself. I just mean like the movement overall on the day is 1%. I don't mean that US 10Y went from 4% to 5% or anything like that. Let's look at the 2-year. Oh, yeah. Moving well off the lower zone. Dr. Zoidberg said AV got hit pretty bad on earnings. AeroVironment sitting at 206. This is a huge support, but yeah, AV definitely did. That's not the move a lot of people are probably looking for. Be wary of this one. How's HIMS doing today? Oh, HIMS, another interesting opening. Yesterday, HIMS had a great open and then died off right after that initial jump. Hopefully today goes better than that. NVTS, IREN are flying. Navitas Semiconductor. Holy, 12%, and most of the run came after opening today. NVTS is crushing it. Is there some news here? Or is it just running? Wow, look at that trend line on Navitas Semiconductor. NVTS still following the trend, bouncing in a fantastic way. Love it. 12.5% straight to the upside today. If anyone's looking for momentum, it is here. IREN has similar momentum. Good calls, Manicured. They are really crushing it at this second. A lot of momentum there. Navitas is almost now at the top of the watch list, which is pretty huge. UMAX up 6%. They're starting to come alive. UMAC. Keep that one on the radar too. RCAT is up 4.5%. Attempting a nice run as well. RCAT. INTC. 2.8%. 48.20. Now this is a crazy run here. Man, Intel, good run above the high of the day. Chip stocks have done really well. AMD and Nvidia consolidating a bit more than Intel is, but Nvidia's close to the high of the day. A lot closer than AMD is. Might try to go for a run of its own here in a minute. About the banks, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, JP Morgan, all boring on the day, very slow. Slow days all around for these. Now, Joby Aviation starting to move in a great way too. JOBY. Good PA yesterday. Looks pretty solid again today. Breaking the highs at 1020. Someone said SPY is pumping again. SPY moving in a great way up to 680. I'm not seeing any huge news. Uh-oh. I think I figured it out. IEA members agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil, they said in a statement. That might be what we're seeing. Let's go look at crude. Yeah, crude. Yeah, I think that's the news because crude is moving in a crazy way. Crude just dropped off as SPY popped. Trump also told Axios that there's practically nothing left to target in Iran. That might be the news as well. Trump said the war with Iran will end soon. He said, anytime I want it to end, it will end. His wording is so funny sometimes. Anytime I want it to end, it will end. Look at crude oil popping back up now, though. It had that massive sell-off for a second and just started exploding again. It's a huge drop and pop for crude. There goes SPY dropping off as oil popped up again. Very strange. Very strange price action. Oh yeah, all those headlines are hitting right now. Oh, Jake said the news came 1 minute in after you opened it, right? Ramirez says, I heard them releasing reserves will only cover days, not weeks. Oh, yeah, I wonder. Either way, it moved markets. That could be a good point, Ramirez. How's Tesla reacting? Okay, pretty good. Up 3.93%, holding its ground up around the high of the day. Nvidia, same deal, broke out, holding well. Intel was moving earlier. They're still going, 48.68. Intel getting it done at the moment. $48.80. Yeah, Intel's getting up there. 48.80 right now. One of the hotter stocks of the morning. CoreWeave. Moving up to 82. IREN just hit 42. RCAT elevator inbound. Dr. Zoidberg said, wow, the 1 minute looks awesome with RCAT again. 8% breaking out as well. Lots of stocks moving right now on this news. Officials prepare for 2 weeks more of strikes. Yeah, officials prepare for at least 2 more weeks of strikes per Axios. There's another one. Lot of IEA statements here. They said flows of oil and gas via Hormuz is all but stopped. Them releasing 400 million barrels of oil is their biggest release ever. Since they started 50 years ago, they say. Since the foundation more than 50 years ago, since the first oil crisis, this is the largest ever IEA release. $400 million barrels of oil. Intel slowing down a little bit. Great pump though, either way. DDOG, 3.3%. It was up around my watch list, so figured I'd check it out real quick. Firefly Aerospace doing pretty good, 3.2% today too. Not as good as these other stocks though. Joby slowed up slightly. Navitas has still been pumping here. It's up 17% now. This keeps getting better on the watch list. I just keep seeing it climbing and climbing up there. Bloom is trying to move. BE's actually right at the high of day. It looks solid on the price action. Might try to go for a breakout too. Would not be one bit surprised. One sec. Bloom looks solid. Love the way it's pushing the high of the day. This is a good sign for the bull traders out there. It's a big resistance, but the way in which it's holding close and already testing again is a great sign. Great sign. I wonder what Israel's going to do whenever we eventually stop. If they'll stop at the same time. Probably so, right? Probably so. There goes BE. New high of the day. There we are. Looks solid right now. All right, Bloom. Can't sit here forever waiting for you. We'll switch to SPY for a second. Running up to around 680 this morning. Bouncing pretty good, though, off resistance there at 680. Very solid level. We had it marked on the chart already. Good bounce. Again, held 676 intraday today. Continues to be a critical point for the SPY at 676. USO is now solidified back to the upside after that initial drop-off as the news started hitting. They said Iran's new supreme leader was wounded at the start of the war, per Israeli media. Sounds like he's gonna love us. Can't really blame him, though, I guess. Without getting too deep, right? Hope everybody's enjoying the morning so far, because there has been some pretty nice action out there with some of the stocks in the market. I'm really curious how this inflation is going to go on the next reading. I know that today's inflation data came in right as expected, nothing crazy. Market didn't even really move. But the next one is going to be where things get spicy. I'm telling you, watch out about a month from now. Intel continues pushing, sitting at 48.80 now. Lisa said, why? Why? Which thing, Lisa? Wow, UMAC, $20 breaking out now, 8.5% again. That was a great move by UMAC. Big resistance though at 20, so be very careful of this one. RCAT doesn't care though, 16.18, 10% on the day. ONDS, Ondas, yeah, 3.65, pretty good there too, but nothing like RCAT. Narf said Meta announced chips in the Discord. I don't see. Meta doesn't seem to be moving much. Maybe they were talking about something else. Or maybe they're just not moving off of it, either one. So they're going to launch video generator Sora with ChatGPT. Interesting. They're deploying 4 new generations of MTIA chips within the next 2 years to support ranking and recommendations along with Gen AI workloads. That has to be what they meant. Hit a few minutes ago. No movement, though. I thought maybe some chip news would get some action. Oh, Lisa, the reason why the inflation data is going to be so important in a month is because the inflation data that we actually just saw is for February. So after the month ends, kind of like what happened here, 11 days later, we see the actual report release. It's going to be like this for the March data right now. So we're not going to see any impacts from this war with Iran in the February data, but it could be right now. Lockheed Mountain Rapid Cash Accumulator Technology and Ondas Stratosphere. Like it, Zoidberg. Rapid Cash Accumulator, RCAT. No, Red Cat Holdings, 11.11% I just saw on the screen. That means that's a sign. No, don't listen to stuff like that. Especially trading. Maybe some normal stuff I could see it with, but not the market. Red Cat FOMO generating technology. Yeah, there's probably a lot of FOMO right now with some of these stocks, the way that they're really running today. Nebius is another one. Great news from this morning. Up 17%. NVIDIA news helping them out. They say Minnesota lost more money than the war costs. Who's the guy up there? Waltz? NBIS 114. Nice hold above 110, though. It's a big range that Nebius just broke past. Huge range. You can see on the daily just how many hits have happened within this range. So breaking through here is huge for Nebius. And there's great news. NVIDIA. It's pretty high on the day already at 17%, but keep it on the radar. Next few trading days, and maybe even today, there could be some scalping opportunities. IREN is making a great comeback from its lows. IREN 42.50. Uh-oh, 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, that was emergency with the cat today. Don't know what it's doing, but it definitely knocked something big over. All right, SPY. Testing 676 support, guys. Watch this range, 674.80 to 676. This is a big lower range from the past 2 trading days on the SPY. It's not an exact level. There's a big range. You can see all the hits coming in between here. SoFi is falling pretty good, Tank says. SOFI falling to the downside. SoFi might be pretty good to, or will be interesting to maybe start running some wheel strategies on. Of course, SoFi, you got to be careful of companies like this. And, you know, if you're running the wheel, you need to believe in the company for the long term. So keep that in mind too, but it's a low price stock at big support. It's an interesting one. Oh yeah. There can be lots of good, Jake. Of course, puts and honestly, just any opportunities. Any time that you find any big movement, options pricing kind of starts going through the roof. Whenever stocks fall, there's a lot of fear and implied volatility likes to shoot. So you'll see some pretty wild movement start to happen, number one, and then that creates good opportunity. Yeah, the put opportunities are definitely where things get fun with these drops, because sometimes they can be more fun to trade than calls during an uptrend because of that volatility aspect. Tank has some $18 puts and they need it to fall. Jake's over opportunityed on SoFi, he says. He's had a lot of opportunities. Oh, wow. And you have been buying in, haven't you, Jake? Hopefully you're not overbought in, hopefully your position's not overvalued. Tesla, 416. Okay, you're doing it with CSPs. Beautiful. Nebius, NBIS, 114, still coming into play here. Slowed down a little bit. Our cat slowed down. Ondas slowed down. Serve slowed down. Uh-oh, everything's slowing down. Keep that in mind if you're looking for volatility specifically. $3,700 shares. Wow. Have you been spreading it out a lot? That's interesting. UMAC, Unusual Machines. We haven't really looked at this today because the market has been a bit strange, but here's the Mag 7 setup on the day. Amazon, Meta, Apple, and Microsoft are all in the red. 4 of the Mag 7s are down. SPY is also down as a result. It's only down 0.17% though, not really that crazy. Could easily come back. NVTS is up 20%. Wow. Still kept ripping here, even as it caught to resistance around $10.50. Seems like it's slowing up a little bit, but it's slowed down a little bit on the way up. It's kind of done the staircase pattern on the way. See if it continues that pattern here or not on this dip. Tom, your opinion on shorting HMY? Seems like it's going to keep falling. Harmony Gold Mining, HMY. Wow, it's a big pullback on HMY. Let's see the overall trend because it's in a big uptrend here. Okay, so if we line up the lows for the trend, it's bouncing right on it. It's holding support at 1635. With the trend being there, I really like it on the setup. Now, I don't know the exact fundamentals with HMY with their mining business, but whenever you think about gold miners in general, they've been doing well. And gold doesn't necessarily need to continue to pump higher for HMY to do well. You would think that they could do well as long as gold just stays somewhat elevated, somewhat in this big upper range, right? We look at GLD, it's been doing that. It's still pretty close. Gold itself is pretty close too. And HMY has just been pulling back with gold the past few weeks, few months. And whenever we look at HMY, again, it's in the pullback. It's in a trend of higher lows. I'm watching it for a potential bounce. You know, I think that there's some opportunity that you could attempt to play this one with a tight stop loss, like right around 16, 15, maybe just under 16. And I think you could target for a gap fill potentially 18, 80, 19, if not even more, which would put your risk reward like 2.5 to 3, somewhere in that range, which is very, very solid. But the stop is pretty tight. If there's a little volatility, you always risk getting knocked out. But this is an interesting setup with HMY. The one big if is that it looks like they had earnings and the earnings went south. They dropped pretty hard, but they are testing that trend line. I mean, there's always a play opportunity there for a possible buy back up, but with the bad earnings, it's a tough buy. It's a tough buy here. Especially if their outlook doesn't seem the best. So for shorting it specifically, I'm not a huge fan here unless we see some good confirmation under the trend. I mean, I'm a bit worried that we're going to bounce off the trend for that short position. I would definitely make there be some type of confirmation because earnings went south, but it is trying to bounce, like literally right where it should be. So maybe if it does get like a good bounce back initially, maybe you could go for a snipe up there around 19 if we see that play out or something today. Probably won't get back to 19 though. That's pretty far away. You never know though. Let's see Navitas. Ramirez 21.4% now. Keeps looking solid. It did dip back there for a second, but started to recover. Kind of straddling resistance too. HIMS, yeah, 12%. That was some great news with HIMS that came out over the past couple trading days. Early on this week with Novo, they came to a deal and Novo's dropping their lawsuits on HIMS. Theosis said they want Bitcoin to keep continuing here. BTC USD looks like it's doing solid, up through 70,000 the past couple days. I didn't really eye this one up too much yesterday, but yeah, pretty solid movement overall. Like the recovery this morning. Pretty good, up to like 71,100. Nice one. I want Bitcoin to keep pushing. I kind of do too. It would be nice to see Bitcoin start to recover up off of these lows. And the main reason why I want to see it recover is I think some of these Bitcoin stocks like BMNR, Coinbase, maybe even Robinhood would start to really benefit a lot with Bitcoin moving. And it could create some fantastic opportunities in the short term if this does be a good floor, a good bottom for Bitcoin. SPY at the moment. Back above 676, chopping around like crazy still. Keep your eyes on those individual stocks. They seem to be moving much, much better. Bitcoin to keep pushing. How about Ethereum today? How are they doing? Similar, pretty much the same thing as usual. They love to move with Bitcoin, as we know. Tesla's been stuck in the upper range. The chip stocks all pulled back from their highs of the day after attempting a run. AMD straddling a double bottom here, 205.70. CoreWeave was hot. Still doing pretty good today. Nebius. Palantir had a great morning. They were up quite a bit. But look at that resistance. Now that is what we call the quadruple top. 4 touches and a drop back off. Pretty crazy 1 minute setup there. Gave us the little M pattern. M for money. No. Some people do look at those though, like the little M pattern in that way. Mainly just shows a range. You know, you have lower range of support, and you have upper range of resistance, and really the stock just chops around in the middle. Rather than calling it an M. Seems like SPY to 700 is so far away. It really is far at this point. Let's see. $3.29% away from $700. I guess it's not that far when you think about it. Yeah, have it keep pushing. The banks, I know we looked at these earlier. They were very slow and choppy. Same thing here again today. Or at this point. How's HIMS? HIMS still going up, $27. HIMS is on fire. HIMS. Good guy. I appreciate you coming through with the super chat today. $3. Appreciate you, sir. Let's go. Thank you, as always. Whoa. Listen to that. They're excited. That's awesome, though. Thank you, good sir. You think shorts are trying to cover up on HIMS? Yeah, I think that could definitely be something coming into play. HIMS and hers short float was pretty high. Let me go see what it was. Mike's been hitting on it a lot, though, on the nightly videos. So I'm not trying to steal Mike's thunder because he's been saying stuff about the short float on the HIMS for a while. What is it? It's at like 41%. That's fairly high. Fairly high, so. Yeah, it's popping back up right now. You know, they had some news with that lawsuit coming to an end, and shorts could be covering. It seems like a fairly decent possible continuation of a squeeze. I know squeeze is a lot of people's favorite word. You made 840 on IBKR. Didn't you talk about that one yesterday, Hot Sauce? Somebody brought up interactive brokers yesterday. That's a pretty good amount here for how much IBKR moved. It hasn't moved that much, but hey, good stuff. That's awesome. What'd you hit on it, if you don't mind? Like what option, for example? Man, Tesla 416. Straddling, though, 410 intraday support. Oh, you did stocks. Okay. Nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, for options, I would definitely recommend paper trading them first if you ever do decide. Kind of get an idea how they go for a couple weeks first. Great stuff, though. It's hard not to just look at HIMS with how good it's been doing here. HIMS. Probably a good time to start to lock in some gains at least. Elite coming through. You guys have made me a ton of money this year. Thank you for everything you guys do. Thank you, Elite. Let's go. Let's get it. Thanks for the hype. Glad to hear you're making some cash out there. Helping further your account. Beautiful. Like, squeeze me? That's not a bad little joke there, Manicure. That's pretty funny. I actually find that to be pretty funny there. Wow. All right, guys. Well, hey, we got some crazy price action today. Out of some individual companies, the SPY is still stuck. All right. But we're probably going to call it there today. Market's starting to slow up a bit. Go get some breakfast. Get going on some work, guys. Get everything you need to get completed done here. A lot of day left here in the market as well. If you haven't caught anything, keep your eyes on headlines. There's been a lot of interesting PA lately, so I would not be surprised to see some craziness still ensue. But thank you guys for joining up. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later and see you guys. Have a great one.